Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it Turning Off the Flight Simulator. What I mean by that is that when a pilot is in a simulator, nothing is really happening. But the pilot is aware of that. So even when it seems as though the airplane is going to crash for whatever the reason is, the fact is nothing is happening. And the pilot knows that. Well, when we look at life, it's all a simulator when we believe the content of the mind. But if we don't believe the content of the mind, nothing is happening, because all that there is the present moment experience. And the invitation here is to look at what seems to be happening, meaning looking at the translation the mind is making of everything of the present moment experience, and turn off the simulator. Does not mean that the thoughts will not be there or that the simulator won't be there. What it means is that you know it's a simulator because the only thing that is true is the present moment experience. You see? But we're so used to identify with the content of the mind. Why? Because we're used to believing the first thought that suggests that I am this individual. This seeming sense of I am this seeming individual believes the content of the simulator of the mind and reacts to it. It's never reacting to what is. It's always reacting of what it could be. Because what is simply is. But what it could be is what generates worry, concern, fear. Imagine a pilot in a simulator and it says, engine failure, you're losing altitude. And imagine the pilot in the simulator crying, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? My family, I gotta call them to let them know that I love them. That's ridiculous. The people, the one watching the simulator, and we'll be laughing. Because what are you afraid of? This is a simulator. Nothing is going to happen, We're just practicing here. Well, life, the experience, human experience, is a simulator that is giving you every single moment the opportunity to practice. To practice what? The fact that I am. Which is more like a recognition than actually a practice. That's why you notice these videos, I'm not telling you to do anything so in the future. I'm just pointing to what is right now. Whatever seems to be happening in your life right now, the only thing that is true, whether you want to believe it or not, is that you're watching a video. That's all. Yeah, but you know what? I'm in my situation and what could happen. I am not here to discard, to disregard, or to make light of your situation. I'm simply pointing to the only thing that is true. And the only thing that is true is this moment, just as it is. That's all that is true. But when you believe the content of the mind, then what is true is overshadowed by that simulator, and the invitation here is to turn it off. Again, turn it off doesn't mean you won't think. It doesn't mean thoughts will not happen. Turn it off is that, okay, I am having the experience of being in a simulator, but yet I am aware, or there's an awareness of the fact that it's just a simulator. That's what is meant by resting in the I am. Not that the I will become if I do A, B, C, and D. This is why we don't talk about enlightenment. We don't talk about awakening, because these are future events that suggest that right now you're not awakened, that right now you're not enlightened, meaning that right now you are not in the simulator. Because the fact is that the simulator is a construct of the mind. And this whole world is a construct of the mind. The mind, in this case, we're talking about thought. We're talking about that which seems to be a distraction to the fact that I am. And right now, the only thing that I'm asking you is, if you don't believe what the thoughts are suggesting, what remains? And this is not theory, this is experience. Right now, in spite of what you think is your trouble or whatever the case may be, which again, I'm respectful to that, but I'm just pointing to something. This is an invitation. Right now, what's happening right now? And the only answer is this. Okay, so what's wrong with this unless you believe whatever the mind is suggesting about it? It doesn't matter what it is. It is a lie. It is false. If it's a thought, it's false. And you're not the thought, you are. And the are-ness or the is-ness has no issues, no concerns, doesn't have any self-evaluation, simply is, and you are. You're always being, no matter what. And as life presents itself, all you need to remember is turn off the simulator, so you will always know that you are in the simulator. In this case, the simulator is just simply a temporary experience that has no effect on the fact that you are safe and sound inside the simulator. The pilot is safe and sound inside the simulator, even while the simulator who seems to be on is suggesting that the airplane is going to crash. It doesn't matter. The pilot looks at it and says, okay, well, I'm managing here and it seems like I lost both engines, so I am going to crash. There's nothing I can do about it, but it's okay because it's a simulator. Well, here, it's all a simulator, and the fear is the fear of dying. But the thing is that death is a figment of the imagination. It's not true. We see bodies that seems to lose their life, and you say they're dead. No, you're seeing an image that is taking a particular shape, and because you believe you're this image, you now relate to those images as if they have anything to do with you. They're just part of the play, but they're not the reality of the self. You see? In one of the books, I think it's the second book, The Gift of an Illness, I had to dedicate a whole chapter. It's a short chapter anyway, the books are short, on this idea of death, so you can demystify this idea of death. Every time you go to bed and you fall in deep sleep when there's no dreaming, what is that? You cannot tell me what it is because you're not actually there. Meaning the sense of being and identity is not even there, so you cannot even tell what it is. But it's not scary. As if anything, when you come out of a deep sleep, you feel refreshed, you feel wonderful. You don't know why, but you feel incredible. See, because the mind is not engaged. Well, that is the big death that we're so afraid of. Every time I go to bed at night, I don't know if I'm going to wake up the next morning, and that's fine with me. I don't need to now. In the simulator, who cares what happens? All you know is that you are. Yeah, but I mean, I have family, I have children. No, you don't have anything. All you have is a thought right now that is overshadowing the fact that you are. That's it. The fact is that you are, I am. This is all this is pointing to. And right now, all that there is this. And this, believing the content of the mind, well, we experience the consequence of that. In some cases, maybe pleasure or whatever seems to be happiness, because I happen to be in Cancun having a great time with my family. That's just a temporary thing, because it's going to change. Or I'm having a horrible experience and I'm reacting to to what the simulator is telling me, forgetting that it's just a simulator. The fact is, I am. This is it. There's nothing else, nothing other. This is it. I am. This is what this is all pointing to. And you don't need to do anything in order to become this. You don't have to do anything so in the future you become this. You are always this, being overlooked by believing the content of the mind. So this is very simple. It's not complicated. But we're so used to identify with the content of the mind because we're so used to believing that we're this separate entity that this seems to be very difficult, because in the end, when we stop believing the content of the mind, the sense of identity seems to drop, seems to cease to exist. That is the famous death we're so afraid of. Because who am I? Give me something to do so that I can pretend that I am someone, that I am something, that I'm somebody. But you see, you're nobody. You're no thing. You simply are. And the simulator appears in what you are. But you're believing more the simulator than the fact that you are that in which the simulator appears. So turning off the simulator, once again, is not about not thinking. It's not about not feeling, not sensing, not experiencing. Turning off the simulator is turning off the translation to whatever is happening, or to the thoughts that seems to be appear. Right now, this is it. Just watch life unfolding. And you see how life is unfolding anyway. And as life unfolds, or the experience or the seeming experience unfold, if you don't believe the content of the mind, it's like being in the simulator, but simultaneously have it turned off, in a sense that not believing itself. Or, if the simulator is on, just for the sake of this final example, at least it's a simulator. We lost one engine. Hey, Captain, we lost one engine. Well, let's do it. The book says we need to do this. Okay, let's do this. If it works, But in the end, I don't care if this thing crashes, because I know that I'm in a simulator. You see? Because the mind can sell all kinds of thoughts, Okay, it's a simulator, but I gotta pay rent. I gotta work. No. That's just happening. Just watch how it's happening. Just don't turn the simulators. Don't let the mind make stories around it. But if I don't work, I don't pay the rent. No, it's just a happening in everybody's journey. Life is unfolding as it will. The difference is that when you don't believe the content of the mind, the play can unfold as crazy as it may be, but you're not affected by it because you know the fact that you are. This is where this is all pointing to. If you're trying to use this to make believe that everything is okay while you're still thinking you're the seeming individual and you're still holding on to your ideas and beliefs and all that stuff, this is not going to make any sense. Forget about it. This is simply pointing to the fact that I am. And this is not something to be talked about. This is not to enter in discussions about it. This is just you just noticing that you're in the simulator, even while the people who are in the simulator seeming with you, they don't know that. You see? It's like a captain or a pilot in a simulator, and then another pilot is next to him in the same simulator. But for some reason, the pilot next to him is panicking because he's afraid, oh my God, this is what could happen to me. And the pilot, the other one, goes, okay, well, this is a simulator. If you're not getting it, what can I say? Suffer all you want. All I know that the truth is this is just a simulator. So, the loved ones and the people around you, or seeming people around you, who believe this life as a simulator, who believe that this is true, well, until they are ready, all you can do is just hold the space knowing the truth. You don't need to try to convince them of anything. If they're not ready, they're not going to listen to you. What you're going to do is basically, well, actually, you're always talking to yourself anyway, but within the context of this seeming appearance, well, it seems as though you cannot tell them anything. Either they laugh at you or they'll crucify you. Wasn't Jesus a perfect example of that? Within the context of the dream, Jesus was exemplifying the fact that you are, and everybody thought that was blasphemy, could not conceive the possibility that they are the ever present. So what they did, they crucified the guy. The one who came here to liberate them, they crucify him. Well, you will be crucified by anyone who you are challenging their beliefs. In these videos, it's not about believing a new thing, it's about dropping all belief, because the fact is I am. This is a fact. This is not something that we're trying to tell you to believe. Right now, do you believe you exist or you know you exist? And don't let the mind come up with stories. Well, but this is I'm the ever present, the I am, and I don't exist. This is just mind junk. Just don't get there. Don't go there. Let's be practical in this sense. Do you exist? Yes. How do you know? Because you do. Not because a book says I exist. If I ask you, do you exist? You don't go, let me check. Let me see if I find a book to tell me if I exist. Well, you're existing, while looking for that book. If I ask, do you exist? You don't go, let me think. No, you don't have to think, because existence is what allows for you to be able to say, let me think. See, your existence always is the problem. Is you're believing you are this individual existing, you see? And that's where whole hell breaks loose. You are no thing. You're no body. You are wholeness. You're everything. And this is not for you to understand, because if you understand this, you're still parting from the place of the one in the simulator who now thinks that he knows a bit better, but still, a little, he's still concerned, he still doesn't quite get it. You see? When this become crystal clear, when this is just a fact, now you see life happening, and you see how life unfolds, and you do what you do, and simultaneously, while you're doing what you're doing it with the simulator off. It seems as though you're still in the simulator, but it's off. Or we can use this choice of words. You're in a simulator, and therefore it's not that the simulator is off, it's that you're not affected by the simulator, because in the end, even if the simulator crashes, you're not affected at all. You see? Even if this whole experience or worldly experience or whatever projection crashes, you're never affected by it. The body may seem to be affected by it, but you're not the body. You simply are. And again, words cannot go there anymore. I'm just pointing to the fact that you are. Are you existing? Yes. Okay, stay with that. Not let the mind color it, just turn the simulator off in that sense. Existence is all that there is. Right now, this is it. You can call it you watching a video, you can call it you listening to a video, or you can simply say this is it, and that's all. And in the same way that you know how to turn your device to watch this video, you will know how to function in the world and do whatever you need to do. It's not that you're going to stop or you're going to forget how to do what needs to be done. Everything is going to be done anyway, because it's been done through you. The difference is that there's an awareness that this is happening rather than something that I am doing. See? Words coming through this seeming instrument or seeming me or whatever, saying this thing is a happening. It's not something I am doing, even though it appears as if though I am doing it. You see? Whatever happened throughout this seeming experience is just happening, but it has nothing to do with what I am. Even while it appears as if though there's a me doing things and acting and thinking and whatever, and sensing and hearing, simultaneously there's a recognition that that is just a happening. And this again, this is something that we cannot talk about. I'm just simply pointing to see if maybe for whatever the reason is, it sinks in and you go, of course. And life unfolds. And you are. And now the simulator is not a distraction. So technically speaking, even while you're in the simulator, it's off. See? So once again, just notice right now. You see? This is it. And if the simulator says, oh, this could happen, this is it. But how do I handle whatever happens? This is it. Yeah, but I understand it, but if something does happen, this is it. See, don't give the mind don't feed it with anything. This is it. You see? And just watch the this is it unfolding. Watch the play unfold. It's unfolding anyway. Just, this is it. End of story. And well, this is the inspiration that came through. I hope it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can become evident.